Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jai Hind, Namaskar. So I welcome you all to this session. So I hope मैं आप सभी को properly audible और visual हूँ. I hope that I am properly audible and visual to all of you. Good morning, everyone. Okay. So I welcome you all to this daily editorial session, and at the same time we are also practicing answer writing through these sessions. Now, I think in the last 1 month, you may have all understood that what is the relevance of editorials. So, if we talk about this a little bit, just to start with, in the last 1 month, we have discussed many topics. Like we have discussed topics with related to health, we have discussed topics with related to IR, we have discussed the topic related to reservation for women, and so on. So throughout all these things, throughout all these discussions, what are you getting? First of all, you are getting content for your mains. You are getting this content for your mains examination. Every day we are linking it with the syllabus. Every day we are linking it with the syllabus. And at the same time, what you are also getting here is answer writing. You are having a daily answer writing practice through these sessions. So this editorial session is going to help you to build your content for the mains, and at the same time it is also going to help you improve your answer writing. Many of you who have been writing the answers, so in the last 1 month you have already improved. You have reduced the time taken to write an answer. You have also been able to frame the answer in a proper manner. Most of the time you have been saying that you are having 70 to 80% similar answer as what I have been telling. So this is one thing which you get through the editorial sessions. Now, in today's newspaper, we are again going to see some of the important editorials. Like one of the first editorial is with respect to the labor reforms, the labor law related reforms. This will be the first article which we are going to discuss. This is related to your GS paper 3. Now at the same time, we are also having another article which is related to PIL, that is part of GS paper 2. And the third article which is related to geography, GS paper 1, it is about El Nino. It is about El Nino and related things and related phenomena. So this is something which is part of your GS paper 1. So these are the articles which we are going to discuss in today's session. These are the articles which we are going to discuss in today's session. We will look at this and then we will also try to write one answer. We will also try to solve one answer as well. So let's start with this. The first topic with us, that is labor reforms. Labor law reforms. Now see here. When we are talking about this one topic, you may have seen that recently there was a context of it. There was a massive protest. There was a massive protest in Noida. There was a massive protest in Noida. I think all of you remember this part. We have discussed at least 2 editorials with respect to this one topic in the past also. We have discussed 2 editorials with respect to this one topic, the massive protest in Noida. Then at the same time, there has been a blast in one industrial unit. There has been a blast in one industrial unit in Chhattisgarh. There has been death of around 20 workers. There has been death of around 20 workers due to this blast in one of the factories in Chhattisgarh. Okay. So we are having 2 different contexts in the month of April. In the month of April, we are having 2 very important parts here in the month of April. The massive protest in Noida, which was related to wage hike. It was related to the wage hike. We have gone in the detail of this part that why the workers are demanding the rise in the wages. We have seen that the real income has in fact remained stagnated over the last 15 years. In fact, we can also say that the real wages are declining in case of many such factory workers. So this is one of the part which we have seen here. Now at the same time, last year in 2025, the government has come with labor law reforms. The government has come with labor law reforms. So now there is a question on this, that what type of reform it is. What type of reform it is? There are certain part of it which are going against the labor. There are certain part of it which are going against the labors. So let us try to examine those parts of the labor laws which is going against the labor itself. So this labor law, it has been said that it is for the welfare of the labor. It is for the welfare of the labor, but the provisions of it are otherwise. Okay. So let us see this one by one. First thing is firing of workers. Firing of workers from factories. That the firing of workers from factories or industries. Earlier, there was a provision that if a company is firing 100 or more people, they have to take permission from the government. Okay. So what we see, that earlier there was this one provision that if a company is firing 100 workers, if a company is firing 100 workers at once, then approval from government was required. Then approval from government was required. That if you have to fire 100 workers from the factories, if you have to fire 100 workers from the industries, then what you have to do, you have to first take the approval from the government. Now it says that approval required. Approval is still required. Now we see that approval is required if firing more than 300 employees. If they're firing more than 300 employees at once, then they require the approval. It means now they can fire up to 250 or 299 employees without any approval. If they have to fire more than 300 people at once, then only they will be requiring the approval from the government. So is it pro business or is it pro labor? If we look at this one part of it, that firing can be done for labor, is going against the labor. Now 200, 250 laborers can be fired all at once. So earlier the provision was if you have to fire 100 employees, you need approval. But now the provision is that if you have to fire 300 employees, then only you will need the permission from the government. Otherwise, the permission is not needed. Okay. So this is one of the part. Now the second interesting part here. Okay. We have also a second part of it which says that like here if we look at this, the safety of the workers. Okay. Safety of the workers. So there is a safety of the worker. There is a particular law with respect to this. There is a law with respect to this. The name of the law is the Occupational Safety, Health and Working. Occupational Safety and Health of Workers. occupational safety and health of workers, health of working condition, health of and safety, health and safety, health and working condition code. Okay. So we are having a particular code for this, occupational safety, health and working conditions code. Okay. Now here, so it is providing strict norms for safety, strict norms for safety, health and working condition. This one is providing the strict norms for safety, health and working condition within the factories. Now what is the change here? Earlier, what we see that earlier it was applicable in a factory where there are 10 or more workers. Okay. This was applicable to places, where 10 or more people work. Means if there is a factory, if there is an institution, if there is any such place where 10 or more people are working, then what we see that? The occupational safety, health and working conditions code will be applicable on them. Now what has changed? That this is applicable to places where 20 or more workers are there. So now this number had changed from 10 to 20. Just look at this. There are so many such industries, especially the small industries where less than 10 people are working, or some 10, 12, 15 people are working. There are many such factories, many small industries, many such small businesses where 10, 15 or 12 people are working. So now this occupational safety, health and working conditions will not be applicable on the smaller entities. So what we see that now it is applicable only to the larger entities, larger factories. For smaller businesses, for smaller industries, we are not having this code. It means the safety of the worker who is working in a small industry is not important. They don't have to go through these conditions. It is not applicable on them. So that is also another challenge. The third part, the inspection system. The third part is the inspection system. The third part is with respect to inspection system. Okay. Now it has changed from inspection to facilitator mode. Earlier it was, if we look at the earlier part, it was a strict and random inspection. Now what we see that now it is inspection cum facilitator mode. It is inspection cum facilitator mode. Means if the government is inspecting a particular industry, and if there are certain violations of the norms, so there is a lesser chance that there will be any penalty or action against them. Rather than that, they will be given a memo. You have to improve this, you have to improve this. So everyone knows that they have to improve this. Earlier there was a part that there was a strict inspection. So because of that fear, people used to abide by the rules. The industries used to abide by the rules. Why? Because they were having that fear that if there is an inspection, there can be penalty on them. But now what is the provision? It is a facilitator model. It is a facilitator model. It means that even if there is some challenge, even if there is some shortcomings, they will not be penalized. Rather than that, they will be simply given some instruction how to improve this. That next time when we come, how to improve this. So this is the part which we have got in the inspection model. Yeah. Now at the same time, there is another part of it, the right of the workers. There is another part, that is the right of the workers. If they are going, if they want to strike, they have to give 60 days notice. They have to provide a 60 days notice. That if you have to strike, first give us a 60 days notice period. That in the next 60 days you are going to do a strike. So now suppose that if someone is giving a memo that we are going to strike in the next 60 days, and we have seen that with the change in the law, 300 of them can be fired without even government approval. So if 300 people, or less than 300 people, let's say 250 people are giving a 60 days notice in order to strike in the factory, can they be removed from their job? So again, that is one of the challenge. Okay. So if they want to strike, they have to give a 60 days notice period. Okay. Flash strike. This is not allowed. This is something which has not been allowed. A flash strike has not been allowed. Means flash strike means a strike at random. That any particular day, if there is a strike, that is simply not allowed under the law. Okay. So this is also one part, that they are not able to strike. They are not able to strike. Okay. So this is also one of the part. If they are taking a mass leave, okay, if they are taking a mass leave, okay, like 50% workers, if they are taking a mass leave, then it will be considered as strike, and this is something which is not allowed. So what we will see that they are not allowing to strike. Flash strike is not allowed. If we have to do a strike, then you have to first give a 60 days notice. And if there is a conciliation process, a tribunal or a committee which has been set up to look into the issues of labor, then during that period also they cannot strike. So laborers are losing on the right to strikes. Laborers are losing on the inspection model. Laborers are losing on the safety procedures. Laborers are also losing in terms of job security. So how this code is pro labor? How this code is pro labor? How this code is ensuring that there is going to be a labor welfare in the country? Okay. So of course, many of the labor laws have become quite much redundant. Many of the labor laws are quite outdated. There is a need to reform, there is a need to rationalize. But here what we see that the rationalization is more of pro-business rather than pro-labor. So this is the first part which we can see in this article. I hope it is clear. Okay. I hope this is clear. So this is the first part with respect to the labor reforms in India. Okay. Now coming to the second article, which is with respect to the PIL, public interest litigation. There is the second part which is related to public interest litigation. There is one thing called as public interest litigation. Public interest litigation. So I think you all may have seen this one news article. You all may have seen this one news article that government had said in Supreme Court that there is a time when we need to do away with PIL. That we should not be going for PIL. The court should not be allowing the PIL. That the court should not be allowing the public interest litigation. That it should not be allowed in case of India. PIL should not be allowed in case of India as per the government of India. Okay. Now the thing is, what exactly is this PIL? PIL is a way in which anyone can approach the court if they find that someone's right is being violated. Like suppose that if there is a demolition of certain houses, if there is a demolition of the houses of the poor people, then me or you or anyone can file a PIL against it. If there is a harm to the environment, if there is a setup of a factory which is harming the environment, then also people can go for PIL. If there is a pollution of the river which is going to impact a large section of the society, people can go for PIL. So if there is any such social issue, if there is any such national issue, if there is any such issue which is concerning the masses or certain section of it, people can go and file a PIL. So PIL movement in India has started from 1980s in a proper manner. So we see that PIL has become a cornerstone of the judicial system in India. It has become a very important part for getting justice, for making the society just and inclusive for a large number of people. So now here there is a question on this. There is a question on this that should PIL be abolished? Should PIL be abolished? That there should be an abolition of PIL. The PIL should be done away. Okay. So now here there is a question that what is the challenge due to PIL? What is the advantage due to PIL? And what are the reforms which can be done in PIL? So this is related to your GS paper 2. This is something which is related to GS paper 2, structure, organization of functioning of executive and judiciary. A structure, functioning and organization of the executive and the judiciary. Okay. So now let's start this part. Let us try to evaluate PIL. So what are the challenges due to PIL? There are many people say that PIL is something which is a huge challenge for our judicial system. PIL के कारण हमारे यहाँ judicial system में काफी ज़्यादा challenges है. Okay. So now the question is this, that what is the challenge? Okay. What is the challenge due to PIL? One part is increasing burden on judiciary. There is an increase in burden on judiciary. We already have seen that there are 5 crore cases pending in Indian courts. But then again, you have to understand a very core part of it, that 5 crore cases are not pending in Supreme Court of India. The majority of cases which are pending in India is there in the lower courts. In Supreme Court, the number of cases which are pending is roughly around 80,000 to 90,000. Okay. The number of cases which are pending in Supreme Court is around 80,000 to 90,000. The number of cases which are pending in the high courts is around 50 to 60 lakhs. Around 60 lakhs cases are pending in high courts, which are mostly coming due to appeal from lower court. And then the majority of case which is pending in India, that is 4.4 crore cases. 4.4 crore cases which are pending in India are there in lower judiciary. So there is one part which we have to understand, that it's not that when we say that 5 crore cases are pending in India, these 5 crore cases are not pending in the Supreme Court of India. They are pending majorly in case of the lower judiciary. The lower judiciary. So in the lower judiciary, we are not having the PIL. In the lower judiciary, we are not having the PIL. The majority of the PIL is being filed either in the High Courts of India or the Supreme Court of India. So PIL is something which is mostly in High Court and Supreme Court. But the majority of cases which are pending are there in the lower judiciary. Okay. So remember this one part, PIL, this is something which is mostly in Supreme Court or High Court. And the cases, if we talk about cases, so 4.4 crore cases, they are there in lower judiciary. So while there is one argument here, that the PIL is responsible behind the burden on judiciary, we need to carefully examine this part, that how much burden it is creating. How much burden actually it is creating. So we have got 4.4 crore cases pending in the lower courts. We don't have PIL over there. So this is one of the part. Now second part, it is being said that in case of PIL, there is a vested interest of certain people. There is a vested interest of certain groups. If people are filing PIL because they have some of their own interest, that they are not concerned about the public welfare, rather than that they are concerned about their vested interest. Okay. That they are concerned more about their vested interest. That is why there is a misuse of PIL. So it is being said that there is a misuse of PIL. That there is a misuse of PIL. That is one of the part. Now the third part is that PIL, it is something which is leading to judicial overreach. That PIL is leading to judicial overreach. Okay. So what we see that the judiciary is recommending policy measures. That the judiciary is recommending policy measures. For example, environment, liquor ban on highway, shelter homes. So it is being said that the judiciary is doing a overreach. That judiciary should be simply judging upon the matters. It should not be coming into the policy directives. And with the help of PIL, the judiciary is doing this overreach. Okay. Then the same thing is, there is another part of it. In various cases, in various PILs, affected people are not heard. Affected people are not getting voice. Okay. That the affected people are not getting the voice. Okay. And at the same time, there is also one thing which has been said, that there is a weak implementation. There is a weak implementation of the orders of court. That when we are talking about the PIL system, there is an increasing burden on judiciary. There is also vested interest of people. There is a misuse of PIL system. There is a judicial overreach. At the same time, there is a in various PIL, what we see that the affected people are not getting the voice, they are not getting heard, and on the other hand, there is a weaker implementation also of the orders given by the court. So these are certain challenges which we see in PIL. These are certain challenges which we see that yes, PIL is having challenges. But even despite this, what is the relevance of the PIL or significance of the PIL? Why this is necessary? Why the PIL is considered as necessary? So can you tell me why the PIL in India is necessary? I think sensitive matter should be put in this criteria which harms people with disability, vulnerable section like children and women and men who are getting exploited. So tell me, if there is a pollution issue, if there is a factory, if there is an industry which is causing massive pollution of any river, or they are leading to deforestation, so should it be entertained or not? If there is an issue of environment, so should it be considered or not? Now, just to give you one idea, it is being said that we are having fundamental rights. We are having fundamental rights and anyone can go to the Supreme Court. But the question is, can anyone go to the Supreme Court by themselves? If we talk about this, is Supreme Court or High Court accessible by all the people of India? There are many people across the country, they might not be even aware that what is PIL. They might not even be aware that what is fundamental right. We are having a huge section of the society which is unaware about their rights. There is a huge section of society which is unaware about the rights. So, are they aware about PIL? Are they aware about fundamental rights? Are they aware about this, that they can bring the government to the court? Are they aware about this part, that they can bring the government to the court? So, in this case, we have a PIL which is giving the voice to the marginalized and the poor section of society. So here we see that it provides the voice. It is something which provides the voice to poor and marginalized. The poor and marginalized. In our country, we see that if a IPS officer is going somewhere, there are certain guards around them, certain constables around them who are telling the people that how you have to talk to a IPS officer. That they are telling the people, they are educating the people then and there that you should not be speaking to a IPS or a IAS officer in a normal conversation, that you have to talk to them with entire respect. You have to talk to them with all the dignity and everything. While the IPS officer or the IAS officer can abuse them, can say them anything, they have to talk in a proper manner. So, where people are not aware about their right, where the civil servants or the bureaucrats think that they are above the law, they think that they are the masters of the people. So, in that case, PIL is not just like an option, it is a necessity, it is a basic requirement. So this is providing the voice to the poor and the marginalized section of the society. Okay. So this is providing this voice to the marginalized section. What it is doing? It is protecting the constitutional rights of the people. It is for protecting the constitutional rights. If Supreme Court has given a direction to the government of India with respect to controlling the pollution in Delhi NCR region, so why there is a problem in that? If the Supreme Court of India has given directions to the government of Delhi, to the central government, that you have to control the pollution in Delhi NCR, so then why this is a problem for the government? If they have been able to curb the pollution, then this matter would not have escalated to the Supreme Court. if they would have acted on this, if the Delhi government, if the government of India would have acted on curbing the pollution in Delhi NCR region, then this matter would not have even gone to the High Court or the Supreme Court. So it is the failure of the executive. It is the failure of the executive which is leading to the rise of the PIL. It is not the failure of the judiciary. It is not the failure of the system. It is the failure of executive which is leading to the rise of PILs. So what we see here, that this is something which is ensuring the constitutionalism, not only the spirit, not only the letter of the constitution, it is something which is adhering to the constitutionalism. Okay. So that is also one part. That is also one part which we can see. This is something which is checking government inaction. This is something which checks government's inaction. It is checking the government's inaction. When you fail, someone will have to step up. Okay. So this is also something, it is promoting the access to the justice. It promotes access to justice. This is something which has led to defining of various elements of fundamental rights. This has led to the defining of various elements of the fundamental rights. The right to privacy, or the right to sleep, the right to have a healthy environment, the right to have education, the right to health. All these things have been there. All these things have been there because of PIL. So PIL is something which has helped in the deepening of democracy in India. It has led to the deepening of welfare state in India. So this is something which has led to deepening of democracy. It has led to deepening of democracy. It has led to deepening of welfare states in India. So this is one of the part that why the PIL is still significant. Why the PIL is still significant. Yes, but of course, the reforms are needed in this. The reforms are something which are always required. It's not that the PIL system is perfect. It's not that the PIL system is perfect. So what has to be done? There is a need to priority to those PILs which impact society at large. Which impact society at large. Okay. Of course, the judiciary, it has to like exercise restraint. It has to avoid. There is a need for avoiding judicial overreach. It has a role. It has this one thing that it needs to avoid the judicial overreach. Okay. So here we see that, of course, this is required. Okay. And at the same time, it has to secure the constitutional rights. It has to secure the constitutional rights of the people. So it's not that the PIL can be simply done away in India. PIL is one thing which is a basic necessity of the Indian society even in the present times. There are so many public issues which are there which needs resolution. And when there is a government's inaction across the country from the state level to the panchayat level to the union level, there is a requirement of someone, there is a requirement of some system which can lead to solving of these issues. In fact, PIL is one thing which has ensured that there is no such negative sentiments about the government. There is no such negative sentiments about the government. PIL is something where people know that if nothing will work, they will go to the judiciary and then they will get the justice. So it is something which has ensured, that there is a belief of people on the constitution. It is something which has ensured the belief of people on the constitution and on the institutions. Okay. So for the constitution and institution, it is a very important part. PIL has ensured this thing that people believe on this part. Okay. Fifth pillar of democracy is PIL. You can say that. Yes, of course, we need to increase the strength of judiciary. We need to increase the strength of judiciary. So this is again one part which we have to see here, that about the PIL, what is necessary and what is not necessary. Now coming to the third part, El Nino, La Nina, and justice is costly for many people, correct? So the PIL is providing a justice for a large masses at an affordable cost, that someone else is bearing the cost of justice for the masses. Now coming to the next part, that we are having this one thing, monsoon. Okay. So what is the context? Context is this: in 2026, there is going to be development of El Nino. So that's why there is a prediction. And what is that? Monsoon may be weaker. That in 2026, the Indian monsoon may be weaker. The summer, here we see that the summer, it can be extreme. The summer can be quite much extreme. Okay. So we see that the summer could be extreme and the monsoon, it may be weaker. So that is one part which has been said here. Now we have to understand this one thing, that what exactly is El Nino. There is one thing called as El Nino. There is a phenomena called as El Nino. So what is El Nino? If we talk about this is a phenomena in the South Pacific Ocean. A phenomena in South Pacific Ocean. This is something which is there in South Pacific Ocean. This is something which is a phenomena in South Pacific Ocean. Now normally what we see that in a normal year, the circulation of the ocean current is like this. Okay. So we see that normally, if we talk about normal times, so we see that circulation is from South America to Australia. The circulation is in this direction. That it is from South America towards Australia. Okay. Towards Australia. A right to sleep is a fundamental right, but it's not in a general context. ऐसा नहीं कि आपको हमेशा सोने का अधिकार है. Right to sleep is in that case. You may have seen that police, when it is capturing some people for investigation, then what they do? That they are torturing them, that they are not letting them sleep for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. That is a method of torture. Then if someone is there sleeping in their homes and the police is simply reading at the night when it is simply not allowed. Okay. In general cases, it is not allowed. If there is someone as a terrorist, of course you can go anytime. But if someone is a normal person in a normal case, you cannot go there in the night. So in that context, it is there. It is not in every context कि सुबह सुबह सर क्लास मत लगाइए सोने का है. Okay. So now here, so we have this circulation is from South Africa to Australia. Okay. Now here we see that there is accumulation of warm water. There is a accumulation of warm water near coast of Australia. So there is an accumulation of warm water near the coast of Australia. So at this point, we see that there is a formation of low pressure. And at the same time, there is a formation of high pressure in both these locations. So the direction of wind is like this. The direction of wind is also like this. That it is going towards the Australia. It is going towards Australia. Okay. So what we see here, this accumulation is leading to development of low pressure over East Australia and high pressure at Africa and South America. That towards South America and Africa, there is formation of this high pressure. There is a formation of high pressure at Africa and South America. So here we are having formation of high pressure. Now look at this one figure again. So what we see that this is something which is nearby equator. So winds are coming in this direction. You might be aware about this one thing, that in India, the monsoon winds are going like this. The monsoon winds are going like this. Okay. So when the monsoon wind is going like this, so this wind which is moving from Africa towards Australia is pushing the winds towards India. Okay. So here we see that in this situation, the high pressure is there over African coast. There is a high pressure over African coast. So wind, it is moving from where? Africa to Australia. So it is pushing monsoon winds. It is pushing monsoon winds towards India. So in normal cases, or even in La Nina times, in a normal case or La Nina, what we see that there will be monsoon winds coming towards India. So good rainfall. That there is going to be a good rainfall in this situation. There is going to be a good rainfall in this situation in the part of El Nino. Okay. That here there is a formation of high pressure over here. The monsoon winds are coming towards India. They are being pushed by this. So monsoon winds are coming towards India. India will be receiving a good amount of monsoon rainfall. So this is the normal times. But what we see here, that during the El Nino years, now we see that there is a reversal in the trend. Okay. So here we see that during this El Nino year, the circulation is from Australia towards South America. So now see this warm water. This is there over South America, and near this coast of Australia, here you will find that Australia, this is relatively cooler. So in this situation, when we have warm water over here, so a low pressure is going to form here, a high pressure is going to form over here. A high pressure is going to form over here part of relatively high pressure. It is all about relativity. So high pressure is getting formed over this part of Australia. So now here you will find that the wind is going to move in this direction. The wind is going to move in this direction. Okay. This is going to be the direction of motion of the wind. Now see again here from Indian perspective that the winds were trying to come towards India, but many of them will get pushed away. The winds which were trying to come towards India, they are being pushed away by the wind originating from Australia towards Africa. Okay. So here we see that as a result of this, the monsoon winds, here we see that what is the impact? Late arrival. There is a late arrival or deviation or breaks in monsoon, or there is a break in monsoon. So here we see that overall there is going to be a poor monsoon. There is going to be a poor monsoon. Some of them may arrive late, some of them might get deviated, some of them may also not reach India. So there can be a break in monsoon, there can be a deviation of the winds, or there can be late arrival. So overall what we see that there is going to be a poor monsoon because of this El Nino. So when there is a La Nina, it is favorable for us. But when there is a El Nino, then it is challenging part for us. But see, there is one thing about Indian monsoon. It is the blend of uncertainty. It is a huge blend of uncertainty. So there are not just one factor which is impacting this. We will look at one another factor. Suppose El Nino is there, that is one phenomena. But there is another phenomena which might have an impact on this, and that is Indian Ocean Dipole. That's similar to El Nino and La Nina. We see that there is an Indian Ocean Dipole also. So when we are having this Indian Ocean Dipole, there is two phases of it, positive phase and negative phase. So here what we see that in this case, when there is a positive phase, there is a warming of oceans over here. The oceans are becoming warm. Oceans जो है वो warm हो जाते हैं. So due to this warm ocean, what we see that higher evaporation. We see that more moisture content in winds. So eventually what we will see that when the oceans are becoming warmer over here and the wind is moving in this direction, so this wind is going to carry a higher amount of moisture. So on one hand we see that El Nino may lead to a delay. El Nino may lead to a break in the monsoon. El Nino can also impact the uneven distribution. It can even lead to the uneven distribution. This is something which might also lead to the uneven distribution of rainfall. So this is something which might also lead to the uneven distribution of rainfall. But here there is a second factor, that is Indian Ocean Dipole, a positive phase. So in the positive phase, we see that there is a warming of ocean over here and cooler ocean over here. So there is a dipole, warm water here, cool water here. So now when there is a warm water, there is going to be higher evaporation, there is going to be more moisture content, and when there is more moisture content, we see that there will be a higher rainfall. So Indian Ocean Dipole, what we see that Indian Ocean Dipole, if it is having a positive phase, if it is having a positive phase, then what may done? It might reduce the impact of, it might reduce the impact of अल नीनो. तो ये अल नीनो के इंपैक्ट को रिड्यूस कर देता है. So what we see that it might be able to reduce the impact of El Nino. So in this case, if the water is getting accumulated over here, the monsoon winds which will come to India, they will have more moisture content, and as a result, the monsoon may be good. Okay. So when there is a positive phase of Indian Ocean dipole, it can counter the impact of El Nino. However, there is another phase of it. If there is a negative phase, here we are having cool water. Here we see that there is a cool water. So there will be low evaporation. There is going to be low evaporation. What we will see? The cloud formation or moisture content, this is something which will be lower, and this will cause reduced rainfall. This is something which is going to cause reduced rainfall. So during this time, if there is a negative phase of Indian Ocean dipole, if there is a negative phase of the Indian Ocean dipole, then what we are going to see, there is going to be a challenge for the Indian monsoon. And think about this, that if there is a El Nino, and at the same time there is a negative phase of Indian Ocean dipole, think about this part, that there is a El Nino plus a negative phase of Indian Ocean dipole. So in that situation, it will be disastrous. It will be drought-like conditions. It can create a drought-like conditions. But again, the same concept. Indian monsoon is not defined by just these two factors. Indian monsoon is decided by many other factors like Pacific decadal oscillation, formation of jet streams, the snow cover in Eurasia. There are many other factors which influence the Indian monsoon. So Indian monsoon is not just decided by one or two factors. Every one of them have some impact on it. But why the Indian monsoon is so much unpredictable, you can understand from this. There is not one or two factor. There is formation of ITCZ which is responsible. There is eastern tropical jet streams that is responsible. There is also this jet streams coming from the tropical part which is coming over the Himalayas. If they are shifting towards the north, there will be good rainfall. If they are not shifting towards north, then there will be a poor rainfall. So we see that, plus at the same time, the ice conditions in Arctic, the ice conditions over Eurasia, the Pacific decadal oscillation, the warming of the oceans, the El Nino, the Indian Ocean dipole, and many other unknown factors also. The Tibetan Plateau also has a role to play. So what we see that, yes, western disturbances also. So Indian monsoon or the rainfall in India is a culmination of so many things that the prediction about the rainfall in India is highly challenging. It is something which is highly challenging. So do understand this part. El Nino is having its impact. Indian Ocean dipole will also have its impact. So saying a thing about Indian monsoon is extremely complex task. Okay. Meanwhile, there are two questions on this. I think you can solve this. PILs have emerged as a cornerstone of justice in India. However, there are several challenges to it. Critically examine. How El Nino and La Nina impact Indian monsoon. Highlight the role of Indian Ocean dipole in this. So there are two questions, and I think you can write the answer for it. I think all of you can easily write the answer for this. India is called a subcontinent because of many reasons. First, the geographical, if you look at the geography of it, it appears as one unit. If you look at the geology of it, that how it has shifted, how it has joined, then also you will find the region. If you look at the culture, if you look at the cuisine, if you look at the society, if you look at the history, so from history to society to culture to cuisine to attire to society to geography to geology, there are many factors which make India as a subcontinent. Okay, this is called as a subcontinent because of many factors. Okay. So thank you everyone. We will meet again tomorrow at the same time, and then we will discuss the answer part also and other editorials. So thank you everyone. Take care and all the